I see you're very clearly very passionate about politics, which is fantastic. As concerned citizens,
I contested 2 elections.
No, sure. But the fact that in the manner in which citizens in Bengaluru speak about politics, that somehow doesn't reflect in actual voter turnout. The apathy of the urban voter has been an oft-discussed subject. Do you think it's going to stay this way? Do you see that change at all?
No, I think that's what I used to tell the people in software, that you don't have to write your software, you have to script your future. And when you have, even I think last elections in Bangalore, only less than 50% voted. So in that sense, our people from the classes of the lower economic classes, as well as the Dalits, they are more politically aware than the indifferent, consuming middle class who are all the time in front of the TV and criticizing. They go away on a vacation during the, in fact, even when I contested in Bangalore from the South constituency, only about 48% voted. So it's a big shame. When you have a difficulty of choosing, both the parties are corrupt, which they are, because I think people know it. We can't make out which party is less corrupt now, and you can't make out which candidate you have to vote for. So then you have to vote for the lesser of the evil.
Who looks like the lesser of the evil for you in this election?
No, I think it all depends on. I'm not saying all politicians are corrupt, but there is huge corruption in politics, and there is definitely corruption in Karnataka. I mean, it's, you'll never hear a teachers' association openly coming out and complaining there's corruption. It doesn't happen, because they're scared. Or the contractors' association naming there is corruption. But the reason BJP was voted to power was because Congress was corrupt. It was known. I mean, Janata Dal was corrupt. But there are individually good leaders. I mean, there are 2 corrupt leaders or 2 communal leaders. You cannot be indifferent and sit at home. You have to vote for the one who is less corrupt or less communal.
Who's less corrupt?
I cannot say that, because when Congress was in power, there was no question there was corruption there. And when BJP is there, I do not think that I can give any clean sheet to them, because that's the reason I said you can't make out
who's the lesser evil?
I do not want to take that position. It is because I'm not come to campaign for any individual party. I have my own preferences. But the point I'm making is that people must not be carried away by the rhetoric or the political speeches of the parties. They must measure based on delivery on the ground. Look at Bangalore, for example. A friend of mine is not here, I can name him. Jairaj, he comes to, he's a former commissioner of Bangalore Corporation. One day I asked him, what do you make out of this Bangalore? It's like a bombed city, not just today, over the last, I don't think anybody can say that Bangalore is a city which is beautiful now, because the whole city is dug up, and it has been dug up in the last 35, 40 years. Somebody or the other is the cable guy, it could be Reliance, it could be Airtel, they'll come and dig it up, they don't finish it, because there is corruption, because it's very easy to buy the corporator. So he said, Hale Kallu Hosa Billu. I don't think there is not much of Kannada audience here near this one. Hale Kallu is old stones, Hosa Billu is new bills. So the same stone is put back and the bills are presented, and you can see it. I mean, you don't, like Amit Shah said, you don't have to tell the people, they can make out. You walk through Bangalore, the biggest problem is garbage, the biggest problem is sewage and drainage, drinking water. Vishweshwaraya, built the KRS dam, the first power plant. But today, you don't get drinking water in your tap in any house. If you're
what's
rich.
the solution? You're saying the Congress was corrupt, the BJP is corrupt. You tried to fight an election yourself, didn't succeed. So where then lies redemption? What's the way out?
The way out is that we had to be engaged. We can't give up hope. We have to be optimistic. Cynicism is not the answer. Cynicism is slow suicide. You can't be, criticizing everybody. That is not the answer. Of course, you have to have the courage, but you don't have any businessman having courage to speak up. Whether in Bangalore or in Delhi, you see after the budget, every businessman only praises the finance minister. So we need to have courage to speak to people, not just journalists have courage. Of course, journalists also have lacking courage now, but we need to have businessmen also to have courage to speak to the ministers in public forums, not just in his personal chamber. We have to speak the truth, but I'm drawing a distinction between speaking the truth and being skeptical and cynical. You can't be, you have to do what you can. All of us, there will be evil, there will be corruption, but you have to do what we can to reduce it. Purandaradasa, which I didn't quote, I quoted too, said 1,000 years ago, Satyavantariyedu Kalavalla. This is not the age of honest people. So corruption has always been there. But for every citizen, every individual, we have to do, because there are always good people even in politics and in bureaucrats. Because in my own case, I did not bribe. Once it was a BJP minister, I didn't bribe. Once it was a Congress minister, I didn't bribe. Even in Karnataka, when they say Janata Dal is corrupt, I got my aviation land in Jakur when the Janata chief minister was in power. So we can't become disillusioned. That is not the answer. You have to do what you can.
Does the double engine provide an advantage when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to development, because you've got help coming in additionally from the center?
Not necessarily, because if the center, there is an advantage in having states which are different from the center. Just like when Congress was in power, it was good to have people not belonging to Congress in other states, because there are authoritarian tendencies, whether it is in Congress, misusing the institutions. The caged parrot to the CBI came during Congress time. And of course, we all know that institutions, whether in the state level or in the center, are being, because unfortunately that is the thing. Today, for example, when we had some cases in Karnataka, when Gauri Lankesh was murdered, for example, there was another police officer who committed suicide. The biggest tragedy is today, we do not know which institution is going to be free of the political party. If it is, in fact, during the Gauri Lankesh's murder, the state government wanted the CBI to come in. State government wanted to investigate, but the family said no state government, because they thought that the state government will be loyal to the state government. And they thought if the CBI comes, it will be loyal to the central government. So we have, there is erosion of institutional integrity and institutional autonomy. I think these are some of the challenges. Therefore, there is always good to have opposition, a strong opposition, both to the center and the state. So I'm not all for, in all the states, you can't have a double engine.